Hey guys, so this is a continuation from the last problem for the volume of a square box. So let's say that we have the surface area represented by 6 times s to the second power. We are going to find the surface area using the composition and determine its range. So remember from the last question, they gave us the side, or s. So to start off, we're simply going to take that formula. Using composition of functions, we're going to replace the s with what we're given. So instead of s, it will say 2 over 5x plus 3. So same deal on the other side of the equal sign. It will say equals 6 times 2 over 5x plus 3. And then bring down to the second power because it's s to the second power. So remembering PEMDAS, exponents come before multiplication. Now, when you have an exponent towards an expression, meaning anything with a plus or minus, you take the literal definition of an exponent, meaning you multiply it by itself twice. So this ends up, and I'm going to take a sidebar here, this ends up giving me 2 over 5x plus 3 times 2 over 5x plus 3. So you could use Pascal's, but since it's to the second power, I'm just going to FOIL here. So first times first in each parentheses, 2 over 5 times 2 over 5. Remember that when we multiply fractions, we just go straight across. No crisscross applesauce. That's just for adding and subtracting. So for multiplying, we just go straight across. So this gives me 4 over 25 x to the second power. I'm just going to make a little bit more room. 4 over 25 x to the second power, because x times x is x to the second power. Outer would be 2 over 5x times 3. Well, that's 2 over 5 times 3 over 1. So when I multiply straight across, that would give me plus 6 over 5x. Inner would be 3 times 2 over 5x, which is the same thing. So that would still give me 6 over 5x. And then last, meaning the last term in each parentheses, is 3 times 3, which would give me a positive 9. And usually when you FOIL, the outer and inner, meaning the two in the middle, will be like terms, and they are, so you can add them. And the nice thing about this is they're already common denominators, so definitely no crisscross applesauce. Crisscross applesauce is a method to adding and subtracting fractions if you don't have a common denominator. If you have a common denominator, keep it simple. Keep the denominator and do whatever the numerator says. 6x plus 6x gives me 12x. Everything else comes down. And that would be my 2 over 5x plus 3 squared. So this is my little sidebar, but now I'm going to rewrite this as 4 over 25 x squared plus 12 over 5x plus 9. I'm keeping it in parentheses because parentheses means to multiply. And technically I haven't multiplied this 6 yet. So I'm going to bring that down and I'm going to multiply. Now keep in mind the fraction form of 6 is 6 over 1. So when I multiply fractions, just go straight across. So 6 over 1 times 4 over 25 would just give me 24 over 25, bring down the x squared. And then from here, 6 times 12 would give me 72 over 1 times 5 is 5, bring down the x. And then finally, the just 6 times 9 would give me 54. And this would be my surface area. As usual, I'm going to use Desmos to determine my range because we're not used to solving for y, we're just used to solving for x. So to determine the range or all the y values being used, I took our answer, typed it into Desmos, And I can see the y values being used. As I head up the y-axis, there are no values being used until 0. And then it goes all the way up to, I know this is a parabola because it's quadratic, it'll go all the way up to infinity. So my range will be from 0 to infinity. So to write the range, I can write it in set notation, as in from 0 to infinity, or I can write it, in interval notation, or I can write it in set notation, y such that y must be greater than or equal to 0. All right, guys, hope this helps.